Hi guys, it's Ray. Today I'm going to work on a bare stainless steel 20-ounce skinny. I'm going to test the Makerflo Flopoxy fast set with an alcohol ink swirl. I always like to test my new epoxies with alcohol ink to see how they do with the swirls. Some just instantly cure when you hit the heat to them, and some of them work great. So that's what I'm going to use for my epoxy. I am going to go ahead and mix in a little bit of touch of neon right into the epoxy. And then I'm going to use the TRex Alcohol Inks Sparkling Shimmer 12-pack. I'm going to use Firefly, Laser Green, Infinity Teal, and Quantum Cobalt. And then for my drizzle on top, because I'm still going to add white even though it's over stainless, I'm going to use my Pearl Mica powder from this Alexis or Alex's mica powder set that they gave me. I do have one that's gone astray, but I will show you the colors in the box. Very nice variety of colors. I've been super happy with these so far. So I will put links for everything down below in the description box. And I'm going to pause you, mix up my epoxy, and we'll get going. I didn't want to pre-mix my epoxy because it does supposedly have a 15-minute working time, so I didn't want to take up some of that time talking. Okay, so my epoxy is mixed. I am going to put a little bit of my mica in a second cup. Maybe about that much. And then I'm going to put roughly 5 mLs in there. I'm not measuring, and I had a little glitter on my spoon already. It's not an exact science. And I'm just going to mix that up. That way my drizzle is ready to go when I am. And then into the rest of the cup, I am going to mix in a little bit of the touch of Neon Diamond Dust from It's Pretty Personal. Just to add an overall shimmer to the entire cup from the bottom up, not over the top. And this epoxy did mix fairly bubbly. It's chilly in my room, but the alcohol ink is going to pop all of the bubbles, really, so I'm not concerned in the slightest. So I'm going to go ahead and get my epoxy on. Okay, so I feel like I have good coverage now. I'm going to swap gloves quick. And I'm going to start with my inks. And I'm not going to do like a gradient. I'm just going to random. So this is the Firefly. And remember, these have extra shimmer in them too. So if they're not well shaken, the shimmer's going to sit in the bottom. I did shake them, but then they sat again, so. Okay. And this one is the Laser Green. I do want to get a drop of the other green at the bottom, I think. The Infinity Teal. Grabbing that Firefly again to drip across the bottom. Oops. Or to just pour on my table. To prep this cup, I did sand it lightly and wipe it down, because you do want the epoxy to be able to grab something. I feel like I have a lot of bare space there. The light green kind of is very light. Okay, good enough. So I'm not going to heat it yet because I'm going to let that alcohol kind of dissipate a little bit. But I'm just going to come in with my mix of the mica. And I'm going to make sure I get some down the bottom. And if I didn't mention, this is going to be an incomplete cup till I figure out a decal. This is strictly technique and testing epoxy and whatnot. And I did just touch this to the bottom, so I do now have some green on it. It's fine. I'm going to try to get all of this on here. So, all I'm going to do is put a little heat from the torch to it. That alcohol should have dissipated enough by now. And I will probably pick it up and tilt it down and then tilt it up a little bit once it starts to move. And just see how it flows once it's heated. There is still some alcohol left on here. So, I don't know if you could see it, but it did just flare up a little bit. So I'm just holding my torch a little further back. And I might have had a little grease spot there from the arm of my turner. And it's starting to roll off the bottom, so that's a good indication that it is time to tip it the other direction. I'm going to kind of let some of that fall off the top. And I'm going to touch that little baby spot at the bottom here in a second, where I do have one little tiny fisheye. I'll let you see it when it comes around. Can you see the sparkle and shimmer between the diamond dust and the ink itself? The only thing I don't love is I seem to be building a dam of its own here, where it doesn't want to roll off. So I've kind of got that straight line swirl happening. Usually it'll collect on itself and roll off. Not this time. So I'm going to watch for that to come back around and see if that filled. I think it might have been that spot there, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't see it, so I'm just kind of pushing a little bit more of that off the top. I might be able to move it more if I pull away from you guys and stand it up straight. But I don't want it to move too awful much because I kind of like where the rest of it is at right now. Just letting it drip down a little bit. I'll bring it back in a second here. So I think I am going to call this beautiful, other than whatever's happening here at the top. I love the way that just stretched this all up. Trying to find clean fingers. There. I think that cleaned that up a little bit more. It'll still continue to level itself off some. I can definitely tell you, you can use alcohol inks with this for a swirl. This is actually really spectacular looking. I am super happy with it. I don't want these to really run. I just want them to blend back in. So I'm actually going to switch the flow, maybe. And I'm going to let it dry and we'll come back in and look at it in a couple of hours. Okay, so we're just going to take a quick peek at this. This is actually almost dry already. It's been about 2 hours. So I'm going to bring it up so you can see it. I think it is absolutely stunning. I love everything about this and the pattern these inks made. And again, it's not going to get finished because I don't have a clue what to put on it, but that's it. It's done. Absolutely Flopoxy. Perfectly fine for ink tumblers. So yes, happy to see that. And that's it for this one. Please like, subscribe, share, and all that happiness. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.